So did you go to church when you were young?
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
so tell me about that.
Oh, I went to after we moved out from around Catherine. I went to New Bowling Spring. They had two Bowling Springs. They had Old Bowling Spring and New Bowling Spring. And I would go to New Bowling Spring because Old Bowling Spring was about 10 miles away from where I was raised at. And I enjoyed it. I met a lot of strange people.
Well, what do you mean about strange? What made them strange?
They made if you go anywhere around there, you had to walk. You didn't have a car. So I would see them at church on Sunday, and I learned the names and things like that.
So was it a little bitty church? Was it a big church?
It was a little about a medium-sized church. It's all about 30 people. Yeah, 30 people, and the school was read by the church. Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the pastor's name?
Yeah, Reverend Scott Smith.
And describe him.
Oh, he was about looked like he was about 4 feet tall, and he weighed 350. Yeah, weighed 350. Yeah. What made me notice him? They dug a new pond, and that new pond was for the baptizers in. Of course, I got baptized in the creek, and but the new pond, he got bogged up, and about 4 or 5 deacons got on the rope, pulled him out, and I watched that, and it was fun. To me.
Wow, that sounds very interesting. And so how old were you when you got baptized in the creek?
I was 11 years old. I had asked my aunt about Jesus Christ. I wanted to meet him, and she, when I was 4 years old, and she told me I wasn't old enough, and she told me about him and everything. I thought it was somebody around there. I didn't know. But in Alabama, where I went to school at, where I went to church at, rather, they had a mourner's mansion, and you would go in the mourner's mansion and pray. Reverend Scott Smith would preach, and sometimes there'd be other people in the pulpit, and but anyway, Reverend Scott Smith was a good preacher. He had 5 churches, and we would get to the fifth one on the fifth Sunday.
Oh, he was a traveling preacher.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody tried to get him because he was a good preacher, and I liked him. I remember him, as a child growing up. In fact, he's the only one that I do remember.
And he's the one that baptized you?
Yeah, yeah.
And so for those of us who aren't really acquainted with baptism and why that's important to black people, can you describe it to the people, the purpose of being baptized and why you had to be baptized in a creek as opposed to in a swimming pool?
Well, I got back. Well, back then, they wasn't digging a lot of pools. This pool, new pool where the river went, that was about 12 miles from where I lived at. And by him being preaching at all them churches, they had revival about 3 months. Everybody from the churches, when they go to church, everybody from the church would come to their church. So it was about 3 churches that got baptized that Sunday. We had 18 people.
Wow.
And so they baptized in the creek, and so it was a lot of fun. When we the deacons go down and see how deep it is first of all, and one deacon went down and he saw a snake.
Whoa.
And And I had another digger ask himself, what we gonna do about that snake that you saw? He said, I'm gonna leave it alone. He said, ain't you gonna kill it or run him off or something? He said, no, then I won't know where he's at.
Oh, that's what you call wisdom then.
Yeah, and he said, we'll leave him alone. So we left him alone. He never moved. He stayed there through the whole service.
Mm-hmm.
And we left him there. Yeah, so I guess he didn't feel like moving. Maybe he enjoyed the service.
Well, things have certainly changed since those times because now most people get baptized. They have a pool inside the church.
Right.
But back in the day, you know, I'm sure my grandparents and great-grandparents, they got baptized in a creek too.